been a while since the Lord has given me a dream. And this one is a tribulation dream, another warning dream. What time is it? I woke up at like 5:30 in the morning. It's almost 6 right now. I went to bed just after midnight or so. And I had so many bizarre dreams for the first few hours. They were just really weird. I would wake up from one and then fall back asleep and see all these weird shapes and everything, and I didn't understand them at all. But the Holy Spirit put in my heart that it would all make sense. And after about 12 of these really bizarre dreams, seeing all these really weird shapes and all these really weird images, it all came together in the one dream. To start off with, I moved into my friend's home, and it was a nice, pleasant home, not too big, not too small. And I had a room of my own, and I had a nice bed there and a nice TV. It was an old school TV. And one day I was just about to watch TV, and then I looked down on the ground, and I saw this tiny little cut-out piece of the floor. I didn't know what it was, and there was a kind of a button next to it, and I used my toe to step on the button, and it activated this tiny little screen, and it had words on it. And the words said pray, and then it said worship, and then it said dance. And that was unusual. I thought that was really weird. Somebody would put something like that on the floor. Then I wondered if whoever installed the TV took the time to actually sneak that in, to sneak putting that into the floor. So I went to go look for my friend to ask him about it. And during that time, I had to go to the washroom. So I went to the washroom. It wasn't too big, wasn't too small. And my friend's mother guided me to the washroom, guided me to the toilet specifically, because the toilet was about 6 feet to 8 feet lower than everything else. And all around the toilet in this sunken room was all this broken concrete and brick and dirt on the floor. So I did my business, and I was climbing out. But as I was climbing out, I accidentally hit a wall and a button, and that created a shower. And there were showers coming from all directions. There's spraying water coming from all directions. So I eventually got out, and she was a little perturbed because she had to clean up the mess after that. So anyway, I left the bathroom. I went to go find my friend, and I found him. And I took him into my bedroom to show him that thing on the floor. And the room was different. The room had been changed. My bed was no longer there, and the TV was no longer there. A few of my items were there on the end table and in the closet. And I just thought that was kind of weird. But then I realized I'd want him to show him that thing on the floor. So I looked down on a different part of the room, and there was another hole, but it was bigger. It was much, much bigger. And this other square as well had a glass covering, and you could see a camera in there. There was obviously a camera in there. And I looked around the room, and I could see other cut-out places with glass plates on them with other cameras in there. And I showed him that, and he didn't seem to think anything of it. But then he was going to show me to my room, my new room that he had for me, because that one was too small. As we were walking down the hallway, I looked into another room, and his sister had moved in, and his sister had all my stuff and things like that, and that was no big deal. So he showed me down into the basement, and then he left. In the basement, it was massive, a huge, huge, huge basement. But it was on 3 different levels. There were 2 levels that were both the same. Then there was a 3rd level that was a little lower down. So I made my way down to the lower level, and I met a bunch of kids there. There's about 8 kids or so. Somewhere in their single digits, 10, 11, or 8, 9, and 10, and then some of them were just young teenagers, 12, 13, 14, things like that, and they were all busy playing games. And the one boy, he was about a 9-year-old, he had a toy bow and arrow set, because he was playing games with the other kids, but he volunteered to show me around, he volunteered to show me around, and as we were walking through the various levels of this basement, more and more people started to show up. And then he left, the boy left, and I was wandering around the place on my own, checking out the different levels. And each time I would go to a different level, each time I would walk somewhere, I would see someone else or a group of people. And then pretty soon, the entire basement was filled with people. It was like a village, almost like a mini version of a city. Then I went to one part of the basement, because it was supposedly where my bedroom was, where my new bedroom was. But while I was there, I met a former pastor there, and his family, they had moved in. And I was beginning to think, okay, I'm not going to find a place in this city. And then I walked by these row of townhouses, and this other row that had a road on it, and I was walking down there. So I was trying to find my way out. And I eventually, through these crowds of people, through this whole mass of people, I eventually found my way out. But I met someone. There was a pretty lady there. And so we talked for a while. But then she started to rise into the sky, and her blonde hair turned out to be a wig, and her wig fell off. And as she was lifting off the ground, she said, "Oh, they're taking me, and on my birthday, October 26th." And then that's when the dream started to fade. And I said to the Holy Spirit, "That's pretty specific. Could that be the rapture? That can't be the rapture. You're going to have to confirm that to me, because you're giving me a specific date. So I'm not sure if that's the rapture or not." And then as the dream started to fade, the Spirit put it upon my heart that is the day that the church goes into the concentration camps, into the internment camps, the FEMA camps, the re-education centers. And I'm assuming that before that happens, we're going to be raptured sometime between now and then, hopefully soon. But we have no idea when, and hopefully it doesn't mean that we're going to be going into the camps before the rapture. We have no idea. Just got to pray at this point. Anyway, that was a dream, and I'm assuming that this whole basement, because it was lower in the earth, it represented the city, the world, the one controlled by Satan, the one controlled by kids, because it was it was fairly hedonistic. Most of the parts that I went to were fairly nice, but you could tell that there was not a whole lot of love. There was not a whole lot of godliness there. So that's that. October 26th. The dream said, the Holy Spirit said, that's when the church or those left behind get herded up into the concentration camps. And that's pretty soon. So anyway, that's that. Talk to you later. Be a blessing wherever you are in internet land and YouTube world. Keep showing the love of Jesus, because the people out there in the world need it. So be a blessing wherever you are. And we'll see you in Jesus' kingdom somewhere over there, or maybe even somewhere up in the air. Okay, take care. Jesus rules.